Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. Really pleased that you've joined us today for our webinar session where we'll be talking all about environmental sustainability in our new online platform, which we're really excited to be launching in September this year. So just to kick us off, just a little bit of housekeeping for you. So if you have any questions during the webinar, you can submit these through the questions tab. We actually won't be answering these live on air today. However, we are hosting a separate live Q&A session this Thursday. So if you do have questions for us, we really encourage you to sign up for that session at comingsoon.rightship.com. Also, like always, if you have any questions that you'd like to address directly with the sustainability team, if you have any questions related to your fleet or how these changes with the new platform are going to impact you and your colleagues directly, you're always welcome to contact the team at environment@rightship.com. Today's session will also be recorded and we'll provide you with an on-demand version of it, which we really welcome, really encourage you to share with your networks and with your colleagues. By way of introduction, I'm Hannah Gibney. I'm in the marketing team here at RightShip, and I'm really pleased to introduce Kris and Lucy, who are our sustainability experts, who'll be walking you through all that's new with the GHG rating and our sustainability services in the next half an hour or so. So welcome, Lucy and Kris.
Thanks, Anna. Great to be here. I'm Kris Fumberger, Sustainability Manager at RightShip. So today we'll run through various points that are happening in the market. First one here is what's happening in terms of carbon in the market and how the industry is trying to align to decarbonise. So we'll talk about that, what the business drivers are, what the market drivers are. We'll talk about how RightShip's GHG rating is playing a part in that and influencing the market and what uptake we're seeing and where it's impacting. We'll look through our new platform, which is really exciting, and what enhancements are coming your way from a ship owner perspective, chartering perspective, banks, insurance, and so forth, all parts of the market, what you're looking forward to seeing. And then we'll talk about our different solutions out there in the market. So how the GHG rating is impacting the market and what knock-on effect that's having to Scope 3 emissions through supply chains from charterers, and also to what we're seeing in terms of how carbon measurement and reporting is happening from our various customers. Let's start off today with the hottest topic in the shipping industry at the moment, and it's carbon. What's happening in the industry in terms of what pressures are coming from not only the regulators, but also the stakeholder and shareholder pressure that we're seeing in the industry. As the industry works towards a low carbon economy, two main factors are becoming increasingly important. First is that regulatory driver. So at the moment, I think everyone's firmly aware of the IMO greenhouse gas reduction strategy. At a high level, the IMO strategy aims to reduce emissions by 50% by 2050. So one of the clear things and one of the key pieces in here is that there's short, medium, and long-term actions, but the key message, I think, is that everyone in the industry must play a role for us to exceed this target. So whether you're a ship owner, charterer, bank, shipyard, etc., everyone is crucial in working together to get there. So from the second driver that we're seeing is the market and how the market's moving faster than regulation. And this is where some of those examples of the industry working together are really coming out. It's all about industry leadership from what we're seeing. Our customers are wanting to reduce their risk in their supply chain. So for example, ship owners, they're really looking at the carbon intensity of their vessels. So they know, and they're seeing it coming down the line that, whether they're purchasing a second-hand vessel or building a new build, they know that ships built today are going to have a huge influence on the amount of carbon in various supply chains in the next 25 to 30 years. So with this in mind, the requirement to understand how efficient your fleet is has never been more relevant. And ship owners are asking more questions, and they're really driving hard to reduce the carbon intensity of their vessels. This is where it comes to one of those market leaders in terms of the charterers and the pressure that they're putting on the industry and how they're moving so far ahead of the regulation. They're really looking at things like formulating their own targets to ensure they reduce their risk in their supply chain. So a lot of our chartering customers have got short-term carbon reduction targets. So, for example, they might have a 30% reduction target in their supply chain, and this is all about reducing their risk and what's coming down the line from the shareholder pressure or board level, and particularly if they're a listed company, for example, they're needing to set Scope 3 targets and needing to exceed those to be taken seriously in the market. And this is not only this is very much from a supply chain perspective, and this has that knock-on effect to we spoke about ship owners, charterers, but there's also other players in the market or actors in the market around banks, for example. We're getting our banking customers are looking to reduce their risk in the market. Risk of stranded assets, risk of lending money to ship owners who may not be buying the most efficient vessel, and that's a huge risk in their eyes, and they're asking for more and more information and really drilling down harder, and looking to only finance those most efficient vessels. And this is where the shipyards come in, and we're seeing more and more requests to understand what the market looks like from a shipyard perspective. Who is building the most efficient ships? Where can I get the most efficient bulk carrier, most efficient crude oil tanker out there? And that's really having a big impact on some of the new build orders that we're seeing. And at the moment, one key piece in the global market is the global response to COVID-19. I think this has really shown us what can happen when everyone works together out in the market, because it's, as humans, as a market, we're quite flexible and adaptive, and now is a great time to use those principles and apply to our industry and manage the risk in your supply chain. So the question around that transition to a low carbon economy, and the two key drivers we're seeing, that regulatory IMO greenhouse gas strategy driver, and also to the market really showing leadership and pushing well ahead of the regulation, is from your perspective, do you understand your supply chain from a carbon point of view?
Hi everyone, I'm Lucy Packham, Sustainability Officer at RightShip, and thank you, Kris, for setting the scene in terms of the drivers for emissions reduction and carbon management on our industry currently. So as many of you will be aware, RightShip has been working in the greenhouse gas reduction space for over 6 years now, and over that time have developed a suite of products to help measure and manage greenhouse gas emissions from shipping. And today I'm very excited to be able to share with you some of the developments that will come out of the first release of our new online platform. So as this release is largely focused on the greenhouse gas rating and workflow enhancements, this presentation will be centered around those. However, we will touch on our other solutions as well. So for now, let's begin with a quick overview of what the greenhouse gas rating is and how it has been impacting the market. So you're all probably well aware of the GHG rating by now, but I'll just provide a quick overview. So the GHG rating compares vessel efficiency with the aim of rewarding those vessel owners who invest in efficient vessel design to promote emissions reduction. So it operates on an A to G scale, where A is optimal. You can see there's actually a screenshot on the right here that's just a snapshot of the new platform and how a vessel's GHG rating summary is displayed. So the GHG rating on the left, then we have the EVDI. So this is it's the unit of measure that the rating is based on, and it represents grams of CO2 per tonne per nautical mile. So we're talking about carbon emissions. So this is based on the IMO's EEDI formula. So it's an industry standard approach, and RightShip have used that formula and applied it to all ocean-going vessels. So that's the unit of measure, and we use that to compare existing vessels with new builds to provide insight into vessel efficiency. So A is optimal rating, and you can see it operates on an A to G scale. So we do this by, we aim to create a level playing field, and we do that in a couple of ways. So firstly, by comparing like for a like. So if you have a bulk carrier vessel, we're comparing that to other bulk carriers of the similar size. So between plus or minus 10% of that vessel's deadweight. So bulk carriers are compared to other bulk carriers, tankers are compared to other tankers, containers to containers, and in that way we're getting that like-for-like comparison and increasing, I guess, visibility into a certain group of vessels and those vessels that are performing more efficiently than others. In the second way we create a level playing field is by looking at the design of the vessel, which removes external factors such as weather, operation and charter agreements that will influence a vessel's emissions profile. And I guess by taking that design snapshot of the vessel, it enables a really fair comparison between vessels and removes those external factors that will influence a vessel's performance. So in that way, we enable a fair like-for-like comparison. So something, I guess it's another point to focus on is the fact that the rating is dynamic. It's based on a comparison of a vessel to its peer group. And as the peer group changes, the vessel's comparison to the peers will obviously change. So in that way, as fleet efficiency improves, so as older vessels are scrapped and new vessels come into service, the peer group changes and a vessel's rating changes in response to that. So in that way, it's sort of likely that a vessel will come in with quite a high rating, and then over the life of the vessel, that rating will sort of slowly decrease as the peer group improves in efficiency. And in that way, the rating is dynamic and responsive to a moving industry. So in terms of industry influence, how the rating has been used, we have 70 charterers that use the rating to influence their vetting decisions. We have 5 financial institutions that use the rating to finance efficient ships and ensure the longevity of their assets. We have 8 ports and terminals that offer incentives to vessels rated A, B or C. And of course, you'll be aware of our constant engagement with ship owners who we work with to verify their vessel ratings and to provide solutions for efficiency improvements. So overall, the rating works to highlight and reward those vessel owners who invest in efficiency in the design of their vessel and to make for a more environmentally sustainable shipping industry.
Thanks, Lucy. Now we'll have a look at our RightShip's new platform and what enhancements we've made to the workflows and the function of the new platform. So in terms of RightShip platform enhancements, we've focused on some key areas and they're listed on the screen there. First one's around that improved transparency, and this comes around the vessel greenhouse gas particulars. So we're looking to offer greater insight into the individual factors that make up a vessel's GHG rating, as well as the data sources. And this will greatly improve the transparency to the vessel owner, to the charterer, to the bank, shipyard, all the key actors in the market. And this is going to lead to result in more accurate ratings, which is a benefit for everyone. Second point's around we've fast-tracked the GHG verification workflow. So this is really going to lead to, say, improvements in the vetting process. And our questionnaire is tailored to each individual vessel type and size. So ask you for all of the information in the correspondence that goes out, and it'll reduce the number of emails, and it's a really streamlined process. And this is very, very much a key to the new platform is housing within the platform and really tailoring to vessel type. Next one's around energy saving equipment. This is becoming more and more prominent in the industry. So whether ship owners are spending the time, effort and money to apply these, or whether it's charterers asking for them, banks asking for them to improve their efficiency. So we've brought the energy saving equipment to the front of the overview page on the GHG pages. So vessel owners who invest in efficiency are more easily recognised, and the charterers have greater insight into these measures when selecting vessels. And there's obviously keys here when Shipyards are pushing the owners to invest in these energy saving equipment, and also to the banks. They're seeing great return on this as well, with really highlighting the fact that they're financing a more efficient vessel with their owner. Next point's around the insight into the fleet GHG benchmarking. So on a company level, the new platform provides analysis into the makeup of the fleet and a comparison to the efficiency of the world fleet, so you can better understand your comparative efficiency. This is crucial in today's world, where we're getting those drivers coming down from not only that regulatory side, but also the market side from charterers, banks, and so forth. So as a ship owner, for example, you can demonstrate that you are the most efficient in your segment. And one of the key pieces around here in terms of RightShip's new platform is everything is housed in that one central location, and there's greater connection to RightShip's sustainability and vetting team.
So as Kris touched on, we've tried to highlight positive measures in the new platform, and we've done this by bringing energy saving equipment, visibility to energy saving equipment, to the vessel's GHG rating summary page. In that way, we've sort of brought it front of house, and this is on the back of some feedback we received from vessel owners and charterers that they were really interested in this information. So they wanted to have greater insight into where vessel owners have implemented positive energy saving initiatives. So we've brought that to the front, so vessel owners who invest in efficiency are more easily recognised, and charterers have greater insight into these measures as well when selecting vessels. So in this way, we're trying to encourage efficiency improvements by rewarding owners who invest in them with recognition for their positive efforts. So transparency is something that we obviously really value at RightShip. I guess the main purpose of our GHG rating and the safety score is to improve transparency and insights in the maritime industry, and we've tried to implement that value across the new platform. So we've improved transparency by providing greater insight into the individual factors that make up a vessel's GHG rating, as well as their data source. So this greatly improves transparency to the vessel owner, which from our perspective is a really positive thing, because we hope it will in turn result in more accurate ratings. So you can see this is a snapshot of the vessel details inputs page, where you outline each of the inputs that go into the GHG equation, the value that's being used for that vessel specifically, where we obtain that information from. So was it from the vessel owner providing us with documents? Was it from IHS, from sister data? And all of that information is now available on the platform for the vessel owner, which is a good cue to them on when they need to provide us with an update and the date that it was modified. So as Kris also touched on, we have streamlined the GHG verification workflow. So in the new platform, vessel owners will be able to request a GHG verification, view the outcome, and communicate with the sustainability team all in the one location, which is really positive. So this will be, instead of them emailing our very busy environment inbox to request a GHG verification, you can communicate with the sustainability team directly through the platform using the request a GHG verification button as displayed on the slide. So this will trigger a verification task to our team, and that's where you verify a GHG rating or any energy saving equipment installed on the vessel. So once you press the button, you'll complete a questionnaire that is tailored to your vessel's type and size, and you'll be asked for all the required information at once, rather than going through numerous emails back and forth, which is a huge efficiency improvement on the process for both the ship owner and for our RightShip sustainability team. So we've actually produced a demonstration of how this is going to operate in the new platform, and perhaps now is a good time to run that through with you all.
You can request a GHG verification by pressing on this big blue button at the top right-hand side. So it automates with your email, but you're welcome to add another email of someone else you want to include in the correspondence. You can, 1, verify the GHG rating, or verify or add an energy saving equipment that has been installed by clicking on this second option, or you can do both at the same time, which is what we're going to do today. To request a GHG verification, you need to first indicate whether you have an EEDI or EVDI technical file, which includes all the different data inputs for the vessel. All new vessels built after 2013 will have a predetermined EEDI and hence an EEDI technical file. So these vessels will select yes. Vessels who have had their EVDI calculated by class or another third party will also select yes. You will then be asked to enter the data inputs from the form, providing information about each of the vessel's parameters, for instance, dead weight, light weight, the other dimensions, its capacity, engine performance, speed, and the final calculated EEDI or EVDI. To verify any energy saving equipment, you'll need to fill out the required fields below. So you have to first enter the category, for instance, propulsion, the type of equipment that you have installed, and there is a list here to select from. So if I have put a duct or fin on my vessel, I select duct or fin and the date of installation. So we're in April 2020. Now you can add more than one if you like, just by clicking on add energy saving equipment. In this instance, I'll just do the one. And then you need to then upload documents that confirm the installation and date. And if you'd like for that energy saving equipment to result in an improvement to the rating, you'll need to then also submit documentation that quantifies the improvement that energy saving equipment has had on your vessel under EEDI conditions. You will also need to provide a newly calculated EVDI post energy saving equipment installation. So to finalize your verification, you simply press submit. You will then receive confirmation that the request has been submitted, and RightShip will update you via email and indicate on the vessel overview page when the status of the request changes. If our team needs more data to process your verification request, you'll receive a request for information via email, which we suggest you respond to as quickly as possible to fast track the verification process.
So another insight that will be provided in the new platform is into company performance benchmarking, which is also some feedback that we received that on a company level, we're often getting requests from individuals to sort of see where they rank in relation to other companies and just to have sort of better insight into the overview of their fleet performance. So this page displays comparison, so the GHG spread of that individual company, and then a comparison to the rest of the world fleet, and that only includes, so it's only relevant to your fleet. So if a specific company were to only operate in LNG vessels, then it would be the GHG performance of other LNG vessels, which is just offers further insight on that company level. And the page also has a list of their fleet and their GHG rating as well as the verification status. So at a quick overview, the company can see what vessels require updating, which is another useful insight that will be contained on the page.
Thanks, Lucy. Great overview of the RightShip platform and some of the key benefits we're going to see in the new platform. Now we're going to talk about the sustainability solutions on offer out in the market and how they're influencing the market. And this comes back to that earlier slide about the key drivers in the industry, both from that regulatory point of view and also too from the market perspective and what we're seeing happen there. So RightShip's over time has developed a suite of products to offer a more holistic emissions reduction solution to our customers. The ultimate goal is to make our industry a more environmentally sustainable one, but from your perspective, it's about reducing the risk in your supply chain. So the starting point is the GHG rating, which is designed to increase the insight into vessel efficiency. And it's being used to inform vessel selection and to highlight and reward those who invest in more efficient vessels. So not only the banks, the shipyards, the ship owners, the ship operators, but also the charterers. And this is a key point here. Charterers are really driving the market in terms of applying vetting criteria to prioritise and select more efficient vessels. And this is resulting in reduction in their overall Scope 3 emissions in their supply chain, but it's having that knock-on effect to those ship owners and the banks that have invested in those more efficient ships are generally getting more and more work and being prioritised out there. So this clear preference in the market through the GHG rating for these more efficient ships, whether it's through finance, through the banks, whether it's through the charterers preferencing these vessels, is having a knock-on effect to our carbon accounting tool. So the charterers prioritise these vessels, reduce their emissions, and then through the carbon accounting tool, they measure the total emissions associated with a specific voyage, say for example over a year, and this allows them to understand the Scope 3 emissions, so they can then estimate on an annual basis, and they can look to manage these. And this is where they're mitigating their risk from both that regulatory and stakeholder or shareholder pressure perspective. So you can see here where both products clearly relate to each other and they're very complementary. So the GHG rating can be a solution to reducing your voyage emissions, while the carbon accounting tool is being used more and more to measure and report Scope 3 emissions on that annual basis and over time. And this is a key metric in terms of charterers looking at their Scope 3 targets and looking to meet and exceed those.
So I guess the main point we are trying to make is that our products really complement each other and work to reduce and provide solutions for industry emissions reduction. So we don't just want to provide a rating or carbon accounting tally, absolutely. We want to offer solutions to our clients that will allow them to improve their emissions performance and improve the emissions of our industry. So in this way, RightShip work with ship owners on an individual ship level through accepting energy saving equipment upgrades and applying any benefits that we can to the equation, as well as making those upgrades really visible to potential charterers. We also provide GHG rating pre-estimations for new builds. So this is something we're really excited about because we see it as the most effective way of promoting vessel efficiency, and that is by starting at the start, when a vessel is first designed. So GHG rating pre-estimations provide vessel owners with estimations of the likely GHG rating for a vessel before it comes into service, which gives them insight into that vessel's potential overall emission performance, as well as its longevity in the market. As for carbon accounting, RightShip can provide businesses with insights into their supply chain emissions and in turn provide them with strategies to reduce them. This includes things like identifying carbon intensive voyages and offering efficient vessel selection advice. We can work with them on alternative route selection or linking them with owners to promote the installation of energy saving equipment, as well as reducing emissions on an individual vessel basis that they can then select that vessel and it'll reduce their overall emissions profile. We've also teamed up with reputable carbon offsetting organisations to add offsetting to the list of reduction strategies. So while we don't see offsetting as a holistic emissions reduction strategy, we understand it to be one of the many steps along the way to reaching company emissions reduction targets.
So let's talk about the key takeaways from today. So our GHG rating and carbon accounting products, we've always spoken about the shipping industry is moving faster than regulation. And this comes very much into play when we spoke earlier about the decarbonisation movement, and the time to act is now. And that global push is all about reducing emissions, and it's sending that clear signal to the industry, to all parts of the industry, that we must reduce greenhouse gases. So we spoke about the IMO greenhouse gas strategy and what's behind it and where we're seeing those market signals. And there's never been a more significant time to act than there is now. So at RightShip, we've been working in this space for many years, and we've taken on your feedback over this time to enhance our product, which we're about to release. And it's all about providing you with information to make emission reductions more easier and more possible. So we've set up a website to keep you informed of what's coming in relation to RightShip's new platform. So please make sure you visit comingsoon.rightship.com and you'll grab further insights about what's to come and when. So our ultimate goal is to provide you, the industry, with solutions for emissions reductions in terms of your supply chain. So please
feel free to get in contact with us now and come and have a chat about how we can help you reach your emissions reduction goals.
Great. Thanks very much, Kris, and also to Lucy for joining us today. Just to echo what Kris just said, we're providing a range of support services for the new platform launch, which are available through our microsite, comingsoon.rightship.com, which includes videos, walkthroughs, a help centre with lots of information on it, as well as other webinar sessions that you can sign up for in the coming months. And finally, and most importantly, if you have any questions for Kris and Lucy, make sure you sign up for our live Q&A session on Thursday, where they'll be answering any and all of your questions as best they can. So thanks again to all of you for joining, and to Kris and Lucy for sharing your expertise. Thanks, and have a great day.